underwater in a cave, are you still spelunking?
Splashing. No.
No.
I'm sorry. I apologise.
Splashing.
So, Mark, you mentioned other electrocution scenes in films. Any come up that you wanted to highlight?
Well, yeah, I mean, like, Dream Warriors, like when he smashes that lady's head into the TV and she gets electrocuted. Then you have, Halloween 4 when Michael Myers gets electrocutes the dad and makes his head blow up. Have you seen Halloween: The Curse of Michael Myers? I think it is.
Yeah.
He blows up a dad's head.
You got little Tim being electrocuted in Jurassic Park off the fence.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Ernest goes to jail. Classic.
How about pretty much any scene in Shocker?
Yes, exactly. That's the whole premise.
Yeah. But
Dude,
still,
shocking
should
people.
count.
Amazing Spider-Man 2 with Electro.
Oh yeah. Batman Returns. I think someone gets electrocuted. Christopher Walken? Doesn't he get zapped in that movie?
It sounds about right. It's been a while.
But I just got to say Gremlins, but the electric gremlin, and then they just all get electrocuted at the end. And I got to tell you, they really, it would be so easy to have a gremlin apocalypse. And so in these movies, they get so lucky by trapping them in one place and having them sing show tunes or watch movies. That's their lone Achilles heel from preventing gremlins from taking over the world. And that is movies and Frank Sinatra singing.
Oh, Odd Job and Goldfinger as well.
Oh yeah, he gets it. I don't know. I just I just gotta go with Gremlins. I think that's it. And yeah, I got nothing.
No, fine.
I got no more.
That's
the first time this has ever happened on the podcast, by the way.
My list speechless.
My list of shocking moments. I guess at horror, there's not too many to write home about that are classics. Maybe we need to fix that. I guess write a screenplay page, release it. Shocker 2, Sharks, Electric Sharks, Nightmare.
So I really like the scene of Saffron Burrows walking on the tables. I think trying to climb around on low tables in shallow water would be really difficult, and she conveys that nicely. It would be terrifying, I think, to try, and it's an unstable surface. When she falls off of it, the table's going to kind of float for a bit and not settle. So I just like that as an interesting environment to be in when you're trying to evade something. And she's got a convenient high shelf. That's good too. Looks a bit flimsy, but
yeah, they thought it through. Didn't they say that they just loaded up the room with a bunch of junk to make it make it plausible why the shark just doesn't eat her immediately?
Yeah, it can't get to it. It's got to go through that desk eventually.
I just kept wondering why. I wish it would have lunged at. Could it have lunged? Is there not enough water to just make a long jump, go swim all the way back? When you pull those cars all the way back and they shoot forward.
Oh yeah.
There's no leap.
Technically it kind of lunged and then it got, electricity to the mouth.
Oh, yeah, that
good
didn't
call.
work.
Yeah, good.
It didn't work.
Yeah. It had a good hand dipping in the water scene when it pops back up. It kind of harkened back to the bird getting eaten again. But that's it. It's kind of a tropey moment where they stick their hands back, but that has never not been effective for me. Right? There's always just seeing those people reach down and a shark. They know how to handle the tension well in this scene for sure. Harlan knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Also, this is really random, but I just watched a movie called Freaky, and they have a really great gag in the beginning where this guy pops up about he keeps reaching down to grab things and popping up, and you think the killer's going to be there, and then he ducks down again, and he comes back, you think the killer's going to be there and not. I think they do it about 4 or 5 times before the killer is actually there, and it made me really happy just playing with that trope of ducking down and getting back up. I always love the kind of fake out gag in horror movies when they do that. I always appreciate a good one. I don't know if you have that at all. Anybody here?
Oh, I heard that was a really good one. I'm looking forward to watching that.
Yeah, Vince Vaughn as a high school girl. It goes there too. It's violent. Somebody gets sawed in half. A tennis racket gets broken in half and then wedged into someone's head like it's full again.
Delightful. Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching that too. It's not out in the UK yet. So what else can we talk about this chapter?
Well, I was going to think about a better idea to kill the shark.
Okay. With things in the room. There's not a lot else in there.
What could have made this scene better? I know there's a floating bed in there. There's really
what could have made it better? Nothing.
It's perfect, Mark. What are we doing here?
It's perfect as it is.
That's been my problem this whole podcast. This whole time we've been doing it. What could this movie have done better? And there's just nothing. It's just blank. perfect. But I mean, I don't know. Like it was, I liked hearing what Saffron Burrows had to say about it years later. I liked Rennie Harlin's comments on the commentary. Do you think it was like he said a studio exec did it? But he didn't. Do you believe that, Jay? I mean, there's no reason not to believe it.
I do. It's kind of, I think, a common complaint you hear of studios where they say, "Oh, more explosions. You need to get more appeal to more audiences, appeal to the teenage boys. They're going to want to see this." It's just,
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I could believe it, but was it also a studio executive's decision to, like, you know, put that nudity in Nightmare 4, or was that Rennie's decision? I don't remember.
Probably Rennie's decision.
You know? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah. I mean, I could believe it, but I don't.
Well, you got to think what's on the promotional material. What's on that crappy cardboard DVD cover? You've got a shark, yes, but you also got Saffron Burrows with
dripping wet and like a low cut. Yeah, and it's just her. It's not Tom, Jane. It's not anyone else. It's her.
It's her, yeah. That's why some people are going to see the film. It's like, oh, look,
so you're a
cleavage.
So you're a liar, Rennie. You're a liar.
I know. I think I don't think it's the director who picks what goes on the DVD cover. I think it's the marketing team.
They should have put Scoggins on the cover with like
just the goatee,
down
the
suit.
zoom in of the goatee, nothing else.
Like his zip down suit, but it's Scoggins.
Yeah, preached it zipping up at the back. That's the scene we should have had.
I mean, imagine driving down the freeway and seeing like Rappaport in the same way that Saffron Burrows is on that poster.
With the exact same, like, shot from the front with a deep V of his
But Rappaport.
But Rappaport, yeah. Okay.
And his name's not even on the headlining credits.
I think we wouldn't be talking about this film today if that was the case. I think the film would have done far worse than it did.
And you don't want the bionic stud muffin on the front.
Why not? He's the star of the film. It should have been.
It
should have been him, or it should have been Sam Jackson. Like Sam Jackson going through up to the halfway point. He's the main character. He's our entrance point. He's the biggest star of the film. Why isn't he on the poster?
You know what's interesting? I saw a picture of there's a kissing scene between Carter and McAllister that got cut. Like she's supposed to live in this movie before the test audiences got a hold of this film. So I guess when they did market it, they thought she was the main character because that goes into consideration probably a long time before the movie comes out.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Hey, that's the most lucid thing I've said in probably 3 years. But yeah, I don't know. I still want to see that deleted scene. I want the Harlan cut. They're releasing everything nowadays.
Release the Harlan cut.
Start that now for all of his movies.
Hashtag
Harlan cut.
Yeah.
Let's do it, me and you. Let's get it going.
Do we agree that this is kind of like his last good movie? Because I'm looking at everything else he's done, like directed, and I'm not seeing anything sticking out.
Well, see, he did Mindhunters afterwards, right?
Oh, is that really good?
No, but it's okay. So we're saying really good. Okay. So
no, not really. Like decent. Like, not terrible. Not like Razzie nominated.
I think Driven was Razzie nominated with Sylvester Stallone. We covered that. But I mean, that's enjoyable. But the problem was, you know what's interesting is Harlan got on that movie and it was funded by this company that they did they made money with the whole 9 yards. And then they would like swindle this German company and they would give films like $150 million budgets, but they would keep like 100 of it and give the film a $50 million budget. So then Harlan had this really globe sweeping movie that he had to rewrite down out of Stallone's script. So then that got like a lot of production problems. So I don't really, it didn't do well, but I don't really blame Harlan because of like the circumstances behind the screen. Oh, wait. Exorcist is terrible. 12 Rounds is fun, right? The Covenant, that was the dude witch, like, no, I don't know the right word. Warlock, that's it.
Wizard?
Weren't they warlocks in that movie? It was like Sebastian Stan, the guy from Expanse, Taylor Kitsch. I like Skip Trace.
Deep Blue Sea is the most recent Rennie Harlan film I've seen, so I can't comment on it.
I particularly, like, for like a found footage movie, I enjoyed Devil's Pass, which is the Dyatlov. I liked it a lot. I thought it was pretty enjoyable. I've actually watched it a couple times now.
Yes, if I could high five you right now, I would. It's underrated, right? It's really underrated.
It's very underrated.
I don't remember what it's about time travel and weird monsters and bunkers.
Definitely, like, yeah, like definitely some time travel, like plot twists
Jim Rackens
Like-
and
in
like
it?
government conspiracies, I believe.
I feel like Tenet stole from the aspects of this.
Haven't seen Tenet, so I can't comment.
Yeah, you'll see it when you watch it. That's
All right.
obvious. No, yeah, I guess, well, Skip Trace was fun. You know, he made a movie that just made 150 million in China. So he's making a lot of movies out there doing well. So, but his last great one, yes, I would say is Deep Blue Sea. But I think I'm physically incapable of saying he's made a bad movie, except for the Exorcist one.
And Deep Blue Sea is clearly his greatest film.
Oof, is it?
I didn't know he
Yes.
produced. I didn't know he produced Blast from the Past. That's actually his best movie. Then
Just if you're just looking at directing, then but yeah, Blast from the Past is a lot of fun.
Chris Walken, Brendan Fraser,
Yeah.
Alicia Silverstone.
Mm-hmm.
One of the many films where Brendan Fraser is underground.
Wow, they should have put a shark in there. Imagine that. Oh man, you're stuck with a shark. Do you know there's recently a movie came out about a swimming pool that's covered and there's an alligator in there.
I know. Oh, never mind. I thought I knew what you're talking about. There's.
I totally wrecked that. My bad. Wait,
I
what
totally
was it?
wrecked that.
No.
I'm thinking of this movie with one of the chicks from The Descent,
Ooh.
and they're trapped in an Olympic swimming pool. It was so good, and it was recent too. I just saw it from like 2018 or something like that. Or like, what is your one with the alligator in the swimming pool?
Just a guy.
I've never heard of that.
It's locked in a pool with a crocodile, and he's just running away from it.
Is it The Pool, your one, Mark, from a couple of years ago?
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
12
Oh,
Feet
that-
Deep, I
that
think, is the one
that
that...
come out like 12 feet deep. That's the one I'm thinking of.
So it's Descent, and she's back kind of underground a little bit in the pool.
Alexandra Park?
Yeah, she's trapped in an Olympic swimming pool with her sister, and Tobin Bell's in it for a little bit. And
He gets wiped out, doesn't
yeah,
he?
and then
It's Nora Jane Noon is the actress from The Descent.
and it's really underrated.
The Descent is one of my favorite top 3 horror films all time. I love the urgency of it. Oh, it's so good. I love the monsters. But this movie, The Pool, sounds pretty good here. In an abandoned 6-meter deep pool, a couple is stranded with a deadly predator.
Yeah, I'll have to check that one out.
I've had it recommended by someone else as well. Yeah.
Also a nightmare for me.
Yeah. How pissed would you be? Come on.
The thing about watching this movie when you're young is it genuinely is scary. Like when you're a kid and you're watching this movie. I grew out of being scared of sharks, and now I'm actually like seriously obsessed with sharks. Like everyone relates sharks to like me. Like I have so much shark stuff. I'm wearing shark socks right now.
Hey, me too.
Like it's insane. Like I have so much shark stuff. I've like people relate sharks to me, and all of that most of this started because of this movie, seeing it so young. But I never grew out of my fear of like the water and then like drowning and all that. So a couple episodes ago when you guys were discussing like best movie like waves, I had to like turn the episode off because you guys were starting to like scare me and bringing up like Poseidon and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh my God, this is a nightmare.
Oh, sorry about that.
So even being like, like I'm 28 now and still, this movie still like freaks me out. Like the Stellan Skarsgård scene where he's pushed against the glass and the glass starts breaking. That is literally nightmare fuel for me. Like I still get chills like watching it even, 20 years later. It's just so timeless.
I like how cruel so he's looking at Janice and she's looking at him crying, and you can see that in his eyes. He's just kind of,
oh my God.
That's a mean moment. Like that's not like Harley. There's some meanness in this movie. I dig it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Those sharks are a-holes.
And we did on the ranking, they hated Jim the most.
They did.
And so he suffered pretty
But
good.
he went through the most.
Yeah.
That's
why. That's why, because they really hate, because he keeps peeing on him.
Would you? Okay, I have a question.
He was peeing on him, he was smoking near him.
Dropping his cigarettes into his pool.
Yeah.
Not sharing his pickled herring or Helsinki hollandaise with him, Swedish pancakes. But you're Jim Whitlock. You have had your